Hello all, here are all the facts and today we will talk about beer. Pleasant and rich taste of this drink, which is loved by many and tasted by almost all people on the planet, is not left without attention. But do you know everything about this drink? Let's check. And before we begin, do not forget about the support for the channel, which is very important, just by subscribing, giving a nickname and a bell for good luck. We begin. Beer is one of the most ancient drinks. A tomb of a brewer was found in Egypt, which dates back to 1200 BC. The brewer's name was Hanso Imhabu, and he brewed beer for rituals dedicated to the Queen of Heaven, Goddess Mut. In medieval Bohemia, a village could acquire the status of a city, but it was necessary to establish a court system, customs, and build a brewery. In 1040, the monks of Weinstein built their brewery, and the brewers liked the drink so much that they dared to propose to the Pope that he allow them to drink beer during Lent. They brewed their best beer and sent a messenger to Rome. By the time the messenger reached Rome, the beer had gone sour. The Pope, after tasting the drink, made a wry face and said that such filth could be drunk at any time, as it was not enjoyable. In the 60s and 70s, Belgian brewers developed a variety that contained less than 1.5% alcohol. And this beer was allowed to be sold in school canteens. Fortunately, it didn't come to that, and schoolchildren got addicted to Coke and Pepsi. Beer marked the beginning of the production of various carbonated drinks. In 1767, Joseph Priestley experimentally decided to find out why bubbles rise from beer. He put a mug of water over a keg of beer, and after a while the water became carbonated. This was a breakthrough in the knowledge of carbon dioxide. A few centuries ago, the quality of beer was determined in the following way. The drink was poured on a bench and several people were seated there. If one person sitting alone could not stand up, firmly clinging to the bench, it meant that the beer was of high quality. In the Middle Ages in Bohemia, the quality of beer was determined by the length of time a beer foam cap could hold a coin. In Babylon, if a brewer diluted his drink with water, he faced the death penalty. The brewer was sealed to death or drowned in his own drink. In the 1980s, solid beer was invented in Japan. It was thickened with fruit additives and turned into beer jelly. In Zambia, beer is used to hatch mice and rats. For this purpose, beer is diluted with milk and cups of the drink are placed around the house. In the morning, the drunken rats are picked up and thrown out. The caloric content of beer is lower than that of fruit juices and milk. 100 grams of beer is 42 calories. Peruvian beer is made by fermenting plants with human saliva. Cornmeal bread is carefully chewed and added to the beer mixture. Such an important mission is entrusted exclusively to women. The strongest beer, Snake Poison, is made in Scotland and contains 67.5% ethanol. In the Japanese city of Matsuzaki, cows are fed beer to improve the meat of the animals and to get a special kind of marbled beef. In European countries in the 13th century, beer was used to treat toothache, and in the 19th century it was used to wash down medicine in hospitals. There is a non-alcoholic beer for dogs that contains barley malt, glucose and vitamins that are good for the animal's coat. The hops in this beer are replaced with beef or chicken broth. The beer craze has not bypassed children's menus either. Japan makes beer for kids. The non-alcoholic beer with apple flavor is called Kodomo no Namanomo, a drink for the little ones. In 2007, Japan began producing built beer and milk. Not knowing what to do with the excess milk on his farm, an enterprising owner sold the milk to a brewery, giving them the idea to make such an unusual drink. Married couple Tom and Atina Seifert of Illinois came up with a pizza-flavored beer that they started making in their garage, in a makeshift brewery. In addition to the traditional barley, malt, and yeast, it included tomatoes, basil, oregano, and garlic. The most unusual beer container is a stuffed animal with beer inserted inside, and the neck sticking out of its mouth. In 1937, the most expensive bottle of lowbrow beer was sold at auction for $16,000. Contrary to popular belief, beer is not consumed iced. Cold kills the taste of beer. Dark beer is not necessarily stronger than light beer. Its color depends on the color of the malt from which the drink is brewed. In 1977, a fast beer record was set that no one can beat until now. Steven Petrosinu was able to drink 1 liter of beer in 1.3 seconds. And now about the benefits of this unique drink. A study showed that beer is good for the heart. Drinking an average of 2 beers a day reduces the risk of a heart attack. And people who had a heart attack lived 20 years longer if they drank beer regularly than those who were sober. Beer contains more protein and vitamin B than grape wine. Beer contains antioxidants that protect against many diseases. Beer reduces the risk of diabetes. A study of more than 7,000 people concluded that people who drink about 14 beers a week are less likely to get diabetes. In fact, beer has the same effect on the bone system as milk. That's because calcium is an important ingredient for strengthening bones, and it's found in string beans, grains, and, among other things, beer. Dentists often talk about the importance of brushing teeth, but never about the importance of beer for oral health. Although a new study shows that beer has a positive effect on dental health. This foamy drink plays an important role in removing bacteria that cause tooth decay and gum inflammation. That's why the benefits are good, but we should not forget about the harm of beer to the body. Due to the fact that beer increases the load on the heart muscle, it is forced to work with overstrain. Over time it becomes flabby, sags, poorly copes with its functions, and causes a whole bouquet of diseases. Alcohol irritates the mucous membrane of the stomach, disables the work of the pancreas. The high content of harmful substances in factory brewed beer places a heavy burden on the liver. Prolonged abuse of such beverage leads to cirrhosis of the liver, stomach and pancreatic cancers. Yeast negatively affects the bacterial composition of the intestinal microflora, causing bloating, flatulence, and in the long term can cause more serious intestinal pathologies. Beer foam contains a large amount of cobalt, the excess of which thickens the walls of blood vessels and reduces their elasticity. The increased frequency of urination that beer provokes, with frequent abuse of the drink, wears down the excretory system and provokes its pathology. Beer has a calming, relaxing effect, but this kind of relaxation is addictive. After developing this pattern, the body cannot relax and rest without the bottle. Lovers of the drink are usually overweight. This happens not only because of the caloric content of the drink, but also because of an increase in appetite, as well as hormonal imbalance. And now about the dosages of this foamy drink. So, is it possible to drink beer without harm to health? It turns out, yes. It is important to avoid 2 factors: a large amount and regularity. According to many brewers, who monitor the quality of the drink, a safe dose is considered no more than 600 milliliters for men and 400 milliliters for women per week. That is, you can drink a small bottle of 0.2 liters, or 0.5 liters, but not more often than 1 to 3 times a week. In women, the permissible dose is lower, since they are more sensitive to ethanol in general, and to hormonal malfunctions in particular. It is also recommended to choose unfiltered beer, because the amount of harmful components is lower in it. But it is worth remembering that teenagers, athletes, pregnant and lactating women, as well as those who have already been diagnosed with alcohol addiction in the past, should completely refuse to drink beer. Even non-alcoholic beer can provoke a breakdown in a former alcoholic. So, it is up to you to decide whether to drink this foamy drink or not. The main thing is always to remember that you shouldn't joke with alcohol. That's all. See my other videos and don't forget to like and subscribe for good luck.